Good evening, good evening, good evening. Boy, my camera is crooked. Let's try to get that fixed. How are you guys doing this evening? How? That's the other way. I just took a bite of something right before I went live, so sorry if my teeth have something in them. But how's everybody doing tonight? How are you doing? Oh my goodness, let's see. Okay, Renee's getting her hellos in before she switches to her phone. Let's go ahead and start by saying hello to everyone. I want to talk about a few things. I have some food here. I may have to eat something in a minute. I want to show you something. So then we're going to go into Embrilliance software. We may end up in Silhouette Studio. I'm not sure. But anyway, welcome and thank you guys for being here. So, hey, Rosalind, welcome. Hello, Carla, welcome. And Sharon Davenport, welcome. Also, I see a bunch of green in here. So I'm getting ready to take down, let's see, the pillow thing. I was supposed to take it down before now. But the pillow that Patrice and I did on live, and Eve did on live, and Rachel did on live. Did we all do that pillow on live, or was that on Rachel's? Yes, we did. I'm getting ready to take those out of the Google Drive. So if you haven't received that yet or you haven't got that yet, check that out. It is linked under our video where we did those pillows. And do I have my pillow in here? Yeah, my pillow's up there. Can you guys see it? You can't. I'll grab it in a minute. And then if there's anything in a member's post that is from prior to March, I'll be taking that out as well. So look at those posts and save everything or anything that you want to before I take those down. All right. Hey, DB, welcome. Hey, Pamela, welcome. And Donzell, hope you're doing well. Hey, Marlene, Jennifer. Hey, Karen, welcome. Let's see. Hey, Retired Crafter 22. Did you guys just see something fly by? There's something in here. Hey, Robin and Nicole. She said, hit the like button, please, and thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Nicole. All righty. Let's see. Hey, Bobby. And Cheryl, welcome. Hey, Creative Notions, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Let's see, it's been a rough week. They're closing your plant 38. Left yesterday. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is hard, Bobby. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're here. April 1st is, everyone's gone but a handful of us. I'm dealing just not well with it. That's understandable. That is understandable. Hey, Addie. Hey, Rachel, welcome. Thanks for being here. Okay, In the Bush is working. Hey, Kristen, welcome. And Vanessa. All right, and Renee, I said hi earlier. I'm going to start scrolling down. Let's see if I see anybody on the way that I haven't said hi to. Hey, Brenda, welcome. And Anna. Oops, it just jumped on me. Hey, Diane. So it just jumped on me, so I'm not sure where I was. I see Jane Duncan. Oh my goodness. It jumped. I see so many new people. Doris, Sheila, Fern, Stacy, Gail Charles, Vanessa. I don't know where I was. God bless you too. Thank you for being here. Oh, she says this is Pam. Yes, I do remember that. Her mother's name is Marilyn also. Thank you for being here. Hey, Sherry, welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have this template in my Etsy shop, and that's probably not in the description, but maybe I can put it later. Hey, Tanya. There's Stacy Jane Duncan. All right. Melinda, welcome. Melinda Brown. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started because now I'm totally lost. But I do see Angel B, Latonia. So thank you guys for being here. Hey, Mary Brown. Okay, I'm at the bottom. Hey, Stephanie, welcome. If I missed you, hey, Up Designs, I am so sorry. It jumped on me now. I don't know where I was. But hey, Keisha. All right, so let's talk about a few things. Let's see. One of the things I've spent since like 10:30 this morning till 30 minutes ago getting a video ready because I couldn't get it to upload into YouTube. Once in a while that happens. I literally had to break it down into 8 different parts, download each part, put them back in iMovie, do the whole thing, and I saw that it finally successfully exported to my computer. And that video is showing you, I think I showed you a little bit about this before, but there's my, oh, it's dripping. It's dripping. Hold on. I just watered it and I had it sitting in the sink. Hold on. Let me just put it in the trash. I mean, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to set it in the trash. But anyway, it dripped because I turned it sideways. Isn't that cute? Here, let me put something under it and I'll turn it sideways. Isn't that cute? That's real grass. I'll try to show it later after it's had time to ooze out. Now I need to clean my table. So I just use my sleeve. I mean, really. But anyway, thank you. That is going to be out tomorrow. Hey, Martha. Hey, Ron. So that'll be out tomorrow, and I show you, it took me 21 days from yesterday. When I finished the video yesterday, it took me 21 days to grow that thick of grass. And it was a slow start. So watch the video. If you want any tips or suggestions, watch the video. Also, and I'll probably talk about this later again. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Michael. I got it right, didn't I? Hey, Catherine, welcome. Okay, again, if I missed you, I do apologize. But I wanted to let you know we have a couple of things. Thank you, Dee. We have a couple of things coming up. The first thing that's coming up, and some of the people that are going to be in it, hey, Catherine, some of the people that are going to be in it are in the chat. We have all this set. And Patrice and I are hosting, along with, I think, 6 other YouTubers that do regular lives. 6 other YouTubers, we're having a block party. So each one of us is going to do some type of different quilt block. Now, it might be a quilt block. It might be from a quilt that person is working on. So they're going to do that day. It's going to be back to back lives. This is, everybody is welcome. It's free. No, nothing that you have to pay. And we're going to be on each other's channels. And so, hey, Patrice. Anyway, that is March 28th. And Patrice and I talked last night. We're looking at starting at maybe 1 Central. Okay? So March 28th, that is a Saturday, and you'll see 8 different quilt blocks. Some people might do them on their embroidery machine. I'm going to sew mine together. Some people might do it for a wall hanging. Some people might do it for a quilt. Mine's a little different yet. So who knows what you'll see that day. But I hope you guys will show up to that. And we'll put out something. I'm going to email everybody that's involved in it, the final thumbnail and everything tonight. But we've been working on this for about, I don't know, a month or so. So I'm excited about that. Hey, Shay. Hey, Eva Marie. Welcome. Hey, Rosetta. And again, hello to anyone I missed. Yeah, Kristen, I think it'll be fun. It'll show 8 different things in a relatively short amount of time. They'll be just quick back-to-backs. Okay, so it's an exposure to a lot of different quilt blocks. So that's one thing. The other thing is, it looks like it's going to be April 18th. Patrice, hold on just a minute, because y'all, I'm so sorry, but my nose is about ready to work. You don't want to see that, I'm sure. I'm so sure. making my way back. Making my way back. Okay, so March 28th, the block party. Gonna have a block party. This is National Crafting Month. Anyway, then on April 18th, we are going to host a Zoom to make a jelly roll rug. So Shay Shay is going to teach us how. Patrice and I will also be hosting it, and that will be a Zoom for the members of our 3 channels. So watch out for registration for that. We have to nail down the exact time and all that stuff. But anyway, that'll be coming too. And I'm looking forward to that. Shay Shay did put out a video just recently showing how to make the tubes from the jelly rolls. And we'll do some pre-work as well. We'll have some pre-video to show you kind of what you need to know and what you need to be prepared. So what I could see is that some people might come on, they have their jelly roll strips and they're starting from scratch. Some people might have their strips sewn together and then they're just really putting together the rug. So there will be a video coming out before that to help you know how to get ready for this, okay? And we'll probably post that in the members sections since it's a member Zoom. Thank you, Keisha. Yes, March 28th for the block party, April 18th for the jelly roll rug Zoom. And Shay Shay, thanks for agreeing to lead Patrice and I and everyone else through that project. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on tonight. Let me show you. I've been playing around with Fringe, and I haven't totally fringed this one out, but I do want to give credit to a channel called Patty Ann's Place. I have watched Patty Ann do stuff for several years. I think maybe from before I started doing my own YouTube channel. And she's just down to earth. She's funny. And so I will put a link to her YouTube channel in the video description under this after the live, so you can watch her videos as well. But I want to give her credit for helping me learn what I've learned on this. Okay, so we're gonna go into Embrilliance here in a minute, and we're gonna talk about Fringe. You're gonna be on a cruise, Ruji, for the 28th or the April 18th? Which one? Jane, you like her too? Okay, Ron says, I love Patty Ann. She's great. Yes. Very easy to learn from. She is. Okay, so here's one that I played with a few days ago, and I did a couple of different ways to do the fringe. But let me show you what I have so far. And I'm scared to death to turn on my computer because during the live that I was on with Patrice and Eve and Rachel, it wasn't cooperating, so we'll see what happens here in a minute. Okay, but here is, let me turn it sideways. See the fringe? I still have some bobbin thread to get out of there, but there's one of the fringes. Here's another one. It's the same type. It's just going the opposite direction, and I'm going to show you how to go both directions with your fringe. And it was a shorter satin column or satin stitch. Now this one, before I remembered how to do it, because I went back and watched her video, this is how I accidentally cut it the first time, and I actually like it. So it's shorter. It would work well on certain projects, but your bobbin is going to show a little bit. So I probably would only do this if I were using the bobbin that's the same color as this, which I never do, or if I was using white fringe. And then I didn't even fringe that one yet. Okay, so then today I played around and I did a design, and it looks like this. And it hasn't been, we haven't fringed it yet. So here is an Easter egg that I designed. We're going to do this tonight. And then after we do the design, we're going to try to fringe it. And we're only going to fringe this one and this one. We're not going to fringe the zigzag. I didn't want all of it to be fringed. So if you're interested in that, let's get started. Oh, good, Dee. Let's see. Somebody said thank you to Rachel. Go to Amazon and find one. Just make sure it's 100%. Yeah. So let me tell you about my experience. I got two different types of jelly rolls from Temu. Do I have them over there? First of all, they feel like they're, I should have read. They look and feel like they're sublimated, which would mean they're polyester. Let me see if I see it over here. I've only opened one of them. Yep, here it is. Now they're real pretty, but you know, being polyester is one thing, but the other thing is they're not a full length. See how short they are? But aren't those pretty? I mean, I can do a lot of things with this, and they were very inexpensive. But they feel polyestery, and I'm pretty sure it's sublimated fabric. Now, I'm going to cut my own jelly roll strips because jelly rolls are expensive. And so I'm going to cut, hey, Miss Joyce, I'm going to cut my own jelly roll strips that have some fabric coming. And I'm going to do, I have 20 different fabrics that I'm going to cut. And I'm going to cut 2 strips from each of the 20 cuts at 2.5 inches wide. So that's kind of a standard jelly roll width. Now, if I had my phone right in front of me, I could tell you what Shay Shay said. Shay Shay said there should be 40 to 44 jelly roll strips in a jelly roll. And so if you're cutting your own, 40 to 44 is good. Now the length is supposed to be the width of the bolt. And so you guys know a whole lot more than I do about that. About how wide, instead of ending up, you know, like 18 inches like these, how long is a typical jelly roll strip? Anybody in the chat know? And we'll be putting all this out there ahead of time. 40 strips. Okay, Rachel says make sure there's 40 strips in the bundle. And Shay Shay had said she does them 40 to 44 strips. If you do 4 additional strips, it'll just be a little bigger. 40 is fine though, she said. Let's see. Hey, Lisa, welcome. Thank you. Okay, let me see if I missed anything. Let me see. Oh, Lisa, so extra. I'm just chintzy. I don't want to pay for it. Hey, Rob, Connecticut, welcome. Hey, Chris. Okay, thank you. 2.5 inches by 44 inches in length. So 2.5 inches wide. So width from side to side, 2.5 inches. And typically about 44 inches long. These are about half that. Less than half that, I think. And then you need 40 to 44 of them. All right. Thanks, Anissa. All right, so let's go ahead and, okay, be ready to turn your sound down, because when I add this, if it's not behaving, I think it's just when I'm doing lives with other people. I think that's what happened. I've done lives with other people, though, for multiple years, and this was the first time I could not get it to cooperate. The width of the fabric is how long they would be. Thank you, Felicia. I'm sorry, Phyllis. Phyllis, not Felicia. I'm so sorry. Cutting your own is great to use what you already have. However, the price of jelly rolls on Amazon are very attractive. Excellent. Okay. Hey, Brandy. Okay. Do we hear any weirdness? We don't. We don't. Awesome. Okay. So let me show you the top of this basket then. Well, I'll show you this design. Hey, Marissa. So here's the little design that we will fringe later. Here is what I was just playing around on. This is the typical fringe. This is where I cut it the incorrect way, but it makes for a cute fringe also. Okay, then let me show you from the top my real grass basket. It turned out super nice, super, super nice. Again, that video will be out tomorrow. All right, so let me go ahead and, hey, Boyd Apparel, let me go ahead and on my end, let me open up Embrilliance, and then I'll share my screen. Okay, so now I can no longer see the chat. I wonder where my phone is. I mean, I can see the chat up there, so I'll try to, if I move it over, I can see the chat. I'll try to pay attention to that, okay? Oh, I probably left my phone downstairs. All right, so let's share my screen. Give me just a minute. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you for being here. Okay, so we're probably going to go into the tunnel, and then let's go ahead and bring up Embrilliance. So I do apologize if I don't see your comments. Okay, I'm going to try. So to do the fringe, first of all, I want to have some design to do the fringe on. And so I want to draw an egg. So there's a couple ways you could do it. If you want just a nice oval egg, you could go up to this create button. See where I'm circling right here? This create button does require at least Stitch Artist level 1. So it does not show up in Essentials, and it doesn't show up in Enthusiast, but it does show up in Stitch Artist level 1. Now you see all these things here. Some of these things are here because I have Stitch Artist level 1. For example, this True Type, that comes up in Stitch Artist level 1. Some of these stitches do. Some of these things are here because I have Stitch Artist level 2. So this vector button where you bring in an SVG, let's see, I have level 3 Fern. Thank you to a gift from someone. Not nodes. Yep, I'm gonna, not nodes. You could, Kristen, you could just bring in an SVG from Creative Fabrica. And we're not going to do much with nodes. Well, we're going to do a little bit with nodes. I can't promise you we're not doing much with nodes. Okay, so True Type, you can use that in Stitch Artist level 1. Vector, you can bring vectors in, SVGs, in Stitch Artist level 2 or 3. These buttons over here, these are exclusive to Stitch Artist level 3. So 2 ways. Number 1, I could just go to this shape panel. Let's click on this down arrow. And if a circle went there already, which it is, I could click on a circle. And then if I don't hold down, I think it's the shift key, I'm not going to get a perfect circle. So, you know, if you want to use this as your egg, you can. Now, first of all, I'm going to put it in the center of my hoop. And then let's go back to create and let's change the size of it. Take my comment down, it's blocking. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, Chris. Okay, thank you very much. I don't have access to my comments on my computer now. Okay, so I would want this to be about 4 inches tall because I'd want to use my 5-inch hoop. So I would change it to 4 inches. Because the padlock's on, when I hit return, it changes the width as well. Now that's an oval. So if you wanted to make that into really an egg shape, you would need to add nodes. But let me show you that it's going to be easier if we just go into the library. So is this the library? Yes, we're going to go into the library. And then where did I find it? Was it in shapes? No. Okay, it's not stars, it's not hearts. Right down here. See this right here? I guess that's called, okay, so the words below it, so that is called Shapes 1. So I'm going to click on that and see what I get. And I'm going to use this over right here. And the reason I'm going to use this, hey Connie, hey Shantae, The reason I'm going to use this is, let me go ahead and say okay, is because it already has some nodes built into it and I don't have to deal with doing them myself. But I do want to rotate this, so I'm going to grab this little button. That's weird. Grab the little handle. Let me go back. So see the blue handle? If you grab that, you can turn it. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get this to about the size I want. So let's say we wanted it 4 inches. And then let's go ahead and unlock the proportions. And let's take this. Let's take this. No, well, let's leave it for now. Let's leave it for now. Okay. So let's click on it again. And then let's go up to create. And now I can play with the nodes. On this one, there's no handles for that. But up here, see the handles there? So I could adjust that. But all I want to do is I want to lift this up. See how it's becoming more of an egg shape? And then if I wanted to pull that handle out, come on. Oh, let me go to the select tool. If I wanted to pull that handle out some, I could. I could pull this handle out some. I can grab the handle. Why am I having issues with grabbing the handle? Hold on, let me find those nodes again. It's always when you're on live. Had no issues earlier today. All right. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, if I want to pull this out a little bit, I can. So that looks maybe a little more egg-like to me. So right now it is 3 11/16 inches tall, 2 5/8 wide. So let me go back to create because that brings up my size. Let's change this to 4. Let's go ahead and lock the proportions, and then I'm going to hit enter. Hey, qualities, welcome. Click create, yeah. Okay, so that's a little more egg shape. The ovals are a little easier because you can do one design at the top and then copy and paste it to the bottom and flip it, but we're going to deal with it. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and put some stitches on this. And I would make this, hi Coretta, hey Temps, I would make this like an applique. And so with this oval, I'm going to go ahead and select it. I'm going to go up to the create button icon, and I'm just going to put a run stitch on it because I want this to be my placement stitch. Hey Jessie. So here's the run stitch, and I can look at the characteristics of it right here. It's going to go around 1 time. The stitch length is going to be 2.5, and I'm fine with that. So now I want to put a tack down stitch, and I'm going to leave the parameters or the settings of the run stitch alone. So I'm going to hit Command C for copy, Command B for paste. You can also go right up here to copy. So let me delete this. Okay, so if I still have that run stitch selected, I can go right here to copy, and then I can go right here to paste. And there's one more way. Let's get rid of it. You can have something selected, go up to edit, copy, edit, paste. Now, it doesn't look like there's a second thing there because it's sitting exactly on top of the prior stitches. So, but it is there. If I want to check, if I push the down arrow twice, you can see it's there. But you always have to remember, push it all the way back up to where it was, or it's going to get off. You have to remember to work in all your layers if you're making adjustments to something that needs to be right on top of the other. Now, I don't want this stitch to be the same color as the placement stitch because I want my machine, whether I remember to put a stop in there or not, I want the machine to stop. And so The second one, it is selected. I'm going to click right here on color. I'm going to click down on the color, and then I'm going to look at the other threads, and I'm just going to pick another color. Let's pick this bright light orchid mist. Okay, so right now, and these don't look perfectly symmetrical, but it's okay. Right now, if we look at the stitch simulator, which I love. Oh, Dimps must be behind. Too rich for your blood, Dimps. It was like 5 cents worth of grass seed out of our garage. Too rich for my blood. You're so funny. Okay, so we're going to do stitch simulator. And you can hit the play button, or that'll just go forward 1 stitch at a time, like that. Or you can push the play button over here, and you can set the speed. But honestly, let's get out of that. Honestly, what I do, I drag it because I want to stop here and there and look and see what's going on. So this is our placement stitch, and this is our tack down stitch. So now it's time to start putting some stitches on there. Now, if I wanted to, let's start with the fringe. If I wanted to have a zigzag, I could bring it in from Creative Fabrica and plot it. I just plotted mine myself, and then I kind of adjusted. Hey, Pretty Eyes Covington. But we're going to start with the fringe. So I am going to go right up here to Create Designs. And I'm going to, first I'm going to draw with points. So we'll click on that. And then I'm going to have a point here on the left side. Now, is there something I can hold down so it goes straight? I don't know, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click again. I'm going to go down a ways, click again. I'm going to go to this side, click again, and then I want it to go up to the start. So to close a design, you can click this little, what looks like a tomato right here, and watch, it's going to close it for me. So now I have a 4th side right here. And let's see, let's go up to the select tool. And let's look at our nodes. Sorry, Kristen, we're looking at nodes. Let's move that down. Let's move this one up a little bit. Okay, that doesn't look bad. That looks fairly straight. Now what I want to do is I want to put this one right here. I want to put a satin column on it. So let's go ahead and click that. And right now you could not fringe this. I mean, I guess if you really tore into it, you could. But this is a typical satin column. It has all your underlay stitches and all that. And when you do fringe, that underlay is removed. So to change this to where it's going to be fringe, it's super duper easy. So we made a satin column right here. And then right now I see the characteristics of my satin column. You just overthink nodes, no problem. You know, once you start playing with them, they get really fun to work with. And so you could go into Embrilliance demo account, which is free. You can have access to every software they have. You can't save anything, but you can play. It's a nice playground. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go where it says normal. See, under there it says set the style of the column. All I'm going to do is click on the down arrow, and then I have 2 options, fringe left or fringe right. I wish there was also a fringe up or a fringe down, but all you have to do is click one of them. Let's try fringe left. That was the wrong one, and I can tell because of this line here. But let me show you what this would stitch out as. So here's our position replacement stitch. And then our, oh, I didn't change colors yet. Let me change the color of this. Let's go to our column and change it a different color. Let's go with a nice violet velvet. Actually, I like light stitches on here. so that you can see the detail of what we're doing. So let's go with evening mist. That's better. You can see through evening mist a little bit better. So we have our placement or position stitch. Hey, Monique. Hey, Marianne. We have our tack down stitch. And if you don't know what those are, let me know and I can, scroll back and talk about that. Then this is where we are starting our fringe column. Notice that it went back and forth horizontally, and then it's going to do that second column. And what would happen is when you cut it from the back side, and I'm going to show you how to do that. When you cut it from the back side, this bottom side is going to remain attached. And so you can't see me. You can't see me. But you have to decide, do I want my fringe to flap up or to flap down? In this case, I want it to flap up. And so I'm going to go back to this stitch and we're going to hit create, because create pulls back up your stitches. And it says fringe left. So I'm going to change that to fringe right. Okay, see how the horizontal stitches are at the top now? So if you play this out, again, you have your placement stitch, you have your tack down stitch, and then horizontal stitches, and then your up and down satin stitches, and then it's going to go back over the top and seal those stitches in. But notice there was no stitches along the bottom and there wasn't a bunch of underlay under there. So right now what I want to do is I want to measure this. I want to see how wide this is because I want to keep it. Patty Ann said, I think at one time she said 10 millimeters. And then I think she said really probably 9. A 1/4 inch is 6 and some odd millimeters. So let's just see how wide this is. So I'm going to click on the ruler and then I got my top corner of my ruler on the top of that. I'm going to drag down and it's hard to see on this color. But if you look down in the bottom left, I think if I let go, it's going to go away. If you look down in the bottom left, it says it is a 1/4 inch. Let me let go and see. Okay, whoops, yeah, it was right down here. So let me do it again. Oh, that's not the right place. If you want to get super precise, then, you can zoom in. So that's a 1/4 inch. So that's okay. I can go a little wider because that's only 6 and some odd millimeters. So let's do that. Kristen, we're going to play with nodes again. I'm going to select it. Let's click on create again so my nodes show up. And then I'm going to circle around these bottom 2 nodes. If something doesn't work the way you think it should, just click create again because oftentimes that's what works. And then I'm going to hit the down arrow and that made it just a little bit wider. Now let's zoom in because we have some fine details to take care of. First of all, I want to scoot this over. And I want to scoot this over. And then I want to play with what's called the lines of inclination. And this one actually stitched out closer than the one I was playing with this afternoon did. Okay, here we go. So, oh shoot, when I hold this down, let me move it over. When I hold this down, notice in this bottom right corner, it is, I wish I didn't have to hold this down. It is starting from that bottom right corner and it's kind of making its way up. And I don't want it to be like that. Good. I play in that software, Kristen, because I know you love to learn things. So even if you don't use it. Hey, April Crenshaw, welcome. Just click on that specific color and it'll give you the measurement. Oh, okay. Thank you, Chris. Okay. So I want to add some lines of inclination. Okay. Because here's what it was doing. It was starting here and it was working its way up that way, and I don't want it to be like that. So to add the lines of inclination, it is selected. You see this little icon here? It says add inclinations. Let's go ahead and click on that. And you push down with your cursor, and then you drag. Don't let your cursor up. Drag across. And I want mine to start so where it's going horizontally with, I don't know, horizontally isn't the right word, but it's going the same direction as the side of the egg. So there's one. Then I'm going to go about right here, and it's going to be a little less slanted. And then I'm just going to go straight up and down. All right, I need to hold my shift key down and slide over. And looks like I need to fix those. I'll do that in a little bit. Actually, my satin border would probably cover it, but it does look like I need to fix those. But we're still doing inclinations. So I'm going to select here. I clicked down. I dragged. I didn't let up. Now I'm going to let up. Even if I put it down here, when I let up, watch what happens. It jumps back to the border. So I can click way up here, and it jumps down where it needs to be. And then let's do another one here that's straight up and down. And then I hit return. And now let's look at the other side, since that's what I showed you earlier. Now, instead of the stitches going like this, look at those stitches. They're going exactly the way I want them to, and they're making their way apart at the bottom so that it finally gets, you know, straight up and down. Hey, Quilt Wench, welcome. So that is our fringe for the top. Now let's go look at this left side, because I feel like I needed to move the nodes. This one isn't bad. That one's not bad. Let's grab this one and move it. And if I wanted to make them rounded, I could, but that is good. I don't have to. My satin border is going to cover that. Okay, so here's what I was talking about earlier. What I had said earlier was, if your egg is really just an oval and it's symmetrical from the top and the bottom, okay, Quilt Winch, thank you. If it weren't really egg-shaped, if it was just oval-shaped, what I would do is I would select this. It was already selected. I'd copy and paste. You can see over here there's a second one. I would, let's see, where are you hiding? I'd click on create, and then this is my flip horizontal, or vertically, I'm sorry. Flip vertically. So I'm going to flip the one over that I just made. Hey, Sonia. And then I'm going to use the arrow on my keyboard and move it down. But because our egg is not symmetrical, I'm going to have to make it wider. But that's easy. That is easy. Notice that my stitches that are going to hold the fringe in place are now at the bottom. So I don't even have to go and figure out, is it left, is it right? It's just there. So let's hit the create button so that our nodes show up. Okay, so we're going to hit this, and I'm going to circle around the nodes I have on the left, and I'm going to hit my left arrow, and I'm going to have to adjust those a little bit. Right now they're both selected. I think if I move this, they're both going to move. Yep, but I can move this to where it needs to be. I'm going to click off of it, have to click back on it, and then this white node here, I'll drag this to the side of the egg. There is an egg under, oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll go look in a little bit. Okay, we're going to select these two nodes. Was that the same shapes I was in? I think it is. I think I was in shapes too. Okay, I clicked off of it, so now I can pull this node by itself. And that one looks okay. But I want to redo my lines of inclination because now look how far I'm going slanted. So let's just drag this one over and let's make it weird. See how these stitches are going that way and then they're confused and they're going that way? That's what these inclination lines help you do. Welcome, welcome, thank you. Okay, I can't see that far. Never Enough Creations, I love that name. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so Never Enough, go check the members tab or the members post because there's some free things in there. And the ones that are from before March are coming out. So go check those tonight. And I'll wait until maybe an hour after the live to take them down. The lines are confused as me. Fern. Okay, let's drag this over. Okay, see how those stitches are going every which way there? So let me let go of this and they'll change. That's so much, that looks so much better. Now I do want to move this over because I want them to start straightening up a little sooner. Okay, so there, look how pretty those are. If you click on that line of inclination circle, that's how I'm seeing these stitches. So I'm not going to move the circle, but I can see them that way. All right, let's move over to this side and let's click on a circle. Look at this side. Oh, made a liar out of me. Made a liar out of me. Oh, I have to start moving it. Okay. So see how angled all those are? Let's move this over. Let's move this over so that they are about even from the side. And then let's go ahead and move this bottom one a little bit. And let's move this top one a little bit. I'm just wanting to get a quicker start on getting those really straight up and down. And that one could go over a little bit. Okay, so even though you see these little things here, this is blown way, way, way up. This is only a, what do we do, about a 3-inch wide egg. So I have it blown up to, 7 inches wide or so right now. And let me look at this. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and run the stitch simulator again. Hey, Tracy. Welcome. And to get this back to the size that it should be, I can click right here on this navigation thingy and then click on this H and it takes it down to the size it should be. Well, I don't like it that small, so we're going to make it about this size. So now let's watch the stitch simulator. Placement stitch, tack down stitch, top fringe. It's going to go back over the top to really seal those stitches in. And then we're doing the bottom one. And then it's going to go back over that bottom line and seal those in. Okay. Now, I want to put a name on it, and I want to put some little zigzags. And like I said earlier, I could find a zigzag pattern in Silhouette Studio, not Silhouette Studio. Creative Fabric is what I meant. Kristen, are there any zigzags in the library? But here's what I did today. I just drew it with points. So let's click Create. Here's our little draw with points. And we're going to go like, this is not in the right place. Let me escape. Okay, let's draw with points again. Let's go a little further down. This is not going to be perfect. It is not going to be perfect, but it's going to be okay. Okay. I'm going to move some of those here in a little bit. We're going to keep going down, and then I'm going to just put my little nodes under those. It would be more precise if I brought in something from Creative Fabrica. but for now this is fine. Okay, so remember, I have to close this in to be able to use it as a satin column. Hey, Dee Dee. So right now, I have only used Stitch Artist either level 1 or level 2 features. I'm not sure if I've ventured into level 2 yet or not. Okay, so I need to close this up, and then I'm going to start playing with those points or nodes or whatever you want to call them. So let's move that one over. Let's move this one up. Let's move this one up. And then I want to circle around both of these because I want to move them to the right a little bit. Let's circle these. Do I need to move those? Yeah, maybe not. What do I need to do to fix this? Oh, maybe go down with this one. So again, it would be much more precise if you brought in a zigzag from Creative Fabrica and you plotted the points based on that. But tonight we're just, we're just playing with the features, not perfection. Of course, I can't stop because I'm a little that way. All right, so there's that. Now, Chris was saying if I click on the color, that it's going to tell me the width of it. Okay, so one there. I'm not sure where. Chris, I probably need to get with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit enter, or I'm sorry, let's go up here. And, I could do a satin column again, or I could do fill stitches. Let's kind of look at the fill stitches. And then let me blow it up so you see the various fill stitches that we run through. So this one is just your basic tatami. That's what I use most of the time. Thanks, LaTanya. That's what I use most of the time. But let's look at some others. This brick one is really cool. And it just is causing different textures, which cause different heights, which causes, some shadowing and all that. And you really do see this show up in your thread. Let's see. Oh. So Quill Winch, you're doing a baby blanket. Are you quilting it now? Are you on a long arm? What are you doing? Okay. So we did tatami, we did brick. Let's look at snake. Let's look at waves. Again, this is all the same color thread. It's just making different textures. Let's look at cornrow. I'm guessing this cornrow too goes the opposite way. Yep. So if you have a reason why you need it to go the opposite way, you maybe trying to do something, opposite of the other. Kelly, member for 11 months. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Got my bell right here. Thank you. Thanks, Kelly. All right, we have some diamonds. We don't have to look at every one of these, do we? Chevron. To me, they start looking kind of alike. Zigzag. Wicker. Texture, I don't remember what it is. Okay. So you could do any of those. And let's see this. So with texture, my stitch count is 1415. And what I've noticed is it doesn't really add a significant difference in stitches. So let's see what it changes. Yeah, one more stitch. So you can do different fill stitches and not have it significantly increase or decrease your stitch count. And stitches is money and time. Now with this bigger, I can see that needs to go like that. Okay, so we'd have fringe here, we'd have a fill stitch here. If you want to, we could go up here and we could do another satin column. And look how crazy that looks. We would have to do our lines of inclination to kind of fix that. I think it's probably easier to do a fill stitch. So you're going to have less textural here, and then your fringe is going to have a lot of texture. So let's put a second one of these. Let's change the color. Let's see. Let's find a teal. I don't know if Jess is in here, but let's find a teal. I know there's a light teal in here somewhere. Where are you, light teal, tropical teal? I know it is. Maybe it's just LT. I don't know. I don't know. But I love this. I like this limestone. I like that it's light and you can see the texture. All righty. So now we need a second one of those down here. So let's just copy and paste and drag it down. I'm using the arrows on my keyboard. If you wanted to, let's click here. You could flip it. That's not bad. We're going to have to do some surgery on it, but that's not bad. We don't mind doing surgery. So it is selected. Let's go to create, and that's going to pull up our points. So I'm going to pull this point over to the edge, and you can barely see the edge, but you can see it. And then let's kind of pull this one over. That might make us want to move these a little bit over. Okay, let's go the other side. Let's just circle both of those and move them to the left. And I just wanted this one to get set, and then I'll just move this one back. Oh, I didn't click off of it. Click off of it. Now I can move one at a time. Okay. So it's not perfect, but again, we're not going for perfection tonight. Okay, so here's what we have so far. I really feel like we need to move some things apart a little bit because we need room for our name. Do we have room for a name? We're going to make room for a name. We are going to make room for a name. I should put the name first. Let's see, locked in behind my machine now. Okay. I'm still wondering if she's on a long arm machine. Let's just drag those in. Let me circle this. If you ever have your start and your stop close together and by a node, you can just circle everything if you're worried you're not going to pick them quite right. Okay, we're going to do this, and then after that we're going to add a name, and then we are going to add the final satin border stitch, and then we're going to look at the thing that I stitched out earlier, and we're going to talk about how you make it into fringe, because it's not going to look like fringe when it comes off the machine. Oh, that's okay. That's okay, Embryos. Okay, I got some sirens going up there, I think, but I'm not sure. Maybe that was a mistake. Okay, so let's put this back where we want it. And now we're going to add a name right here. I almost prefer if these are going in the same direction. I prefer like that. I don't know what you guys think, but I prefer it to go in the same direction. Something about that other one, I didn't like it that way. So now that means we got to play with these points again, just a little bit, but not much. Okay. Well, I missed it. Let's move it from here. All right. So let's add a name, and I'm going to use a BX font. I'm not going to bring in a font and digitize that font. I'm going to use a BX font. And so a BX font, if you're new to Embrilliance, that just basically what it means is it's a typable font. You don't have to add the stitches to it. You don't have to digitize it. It's a typable embroidery font. Now, sometimes you're going to see things on Creative Fabrica that they're called fonts, but they're really not truly typable fonts. They should call them alphabets. They should call them digitized alphabets, because you're having to bring them in one by one by one, or select a bunch of them and bring them in. If you want to buy fonts or download fonts for Embrilliance that are truly typable, you want to select a BX font. Maybe there's other types, but BX works. That's what I use, and they work very nicely. You can get BX fonts. I buy mine. Most of mine were from Stitchtopia, but I bought them off of Etsy because I always know how to get back into my Etsy. I know my Etsy password. I can re-download it as long as it's still in Etsy. I can re-download it and no problem. So let's look at our little egg. It's looking pretty cute. But we want to add a name. So let's see. I wonder, let's look and see. Can I measure the blank space? I want to measure from here to where the top of this one would be. And it's about 3/4 inches. So I'm going to have to stick with a font that's under 3/4 inches, I think. Actually, let's move it down one more. Okay, so to get to the BX font, let's see, I have some BX fonts from Embrilliance, but don't know how to use them. So Lisa, they're already in Embrilliance. Did they come in your Embrilliance? Alpha Tricks will make these Creative Fabrica fonts in any font. Yes, yes. If you want to also buy Alpha Tricks, which is another module in Embrilliance, then you can make them into a BX font. Thank you, Shantae. Hey, Lynn, welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and go up here to this right here. So there's a few ways to bring in letters. One is here. Now, in my videos, you probably see me do it a lot where I hit create, and then I say, let me use the fonts on my computer. So you pick a font, let's just use Arial Black, and you say, okay. But notice there are no stitches on that. So then I need to go through the process. Oops. Command Z is back, and that is our friend. Then you have to go through the process of adding stitches on it. Now, if you want a fill stitch, these are pretty easy. If you want satin columns, it's not going to look real pretty unless you digitize it yourself using drawing with points and causing this to be done before this, and this before this, and this before this. And we've seen Patrice do this on her lives a decent number of times. But, you know, if you do a fill stitch, it can look pretty nice. So let's do this. So, you know, you can do that. And that's not a bad way to go. Bringing in a true type font does require Stitch Artist level 1. Okay. A BX font, you can type with BX fonts in Essentials. So even if all you have is Essentials, and then what's the free one that you can use and you can actually use it? Not the demo, because the demo you can play in, but you can't save anything. Is it called Embrilliance Express? Shantae, do you know what you can do in Embrilliance Express? Okay, but to use a true BX font, you're going to go right up here. It says create a lettering design. We're going to click on it. And then first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go find the font that I want. And there's little pictures that show kind of what they look like. The one I love, which I found from Shay Shay, is this Rainbow Kale. And you can either do all caps, you can Do caps and small. You can do whatever you want. That's cute. I kind of like that better though. And then I have a video on, like, if you click on this and you use the up arrow or the down arrow, what it does. But basically you're moving the letters around. And one of the arrows, let's use this one. If I click on this arrow and move, so the up arrow makes all the letters this way of it squeeze together. The down arrow, if I click on it, and you can't tell I've clicked on it, but I have, and move it, it moves all of them, but they're not moving together. They're staying at the same distance apart. And then lastly, if you click on the middle one, you're just going to move that letter. And I don't want that. Okay, so let's look at Ella. Let's put her right here. That's a little bit big. Let's see, how many stitches are in that? 1,307. Now, a really, really, really nice thing about Embrilliance is it will regenerate the number of stitches you need. Yes, Express. Okay, do the fonts install like other fonts? Lisa, I have a super short video that shows how you install them. They are the easiest thing. But no, they don't install. They're installing into Embrilliance versus into your computer system. But I do have a really short video on showing how to install them. But I promise you, it is extremely easy. You just have to know the steps. And I think it's probably called installing BX. If you go to my channel and you search for BX fonts, it'll probably come up. Okay, so 1307 number of stitches. So I can make this a little smaller, and look, it regenerated the number of stitches. So let's just move Ella over. I gotta get a drink, guys, sorry. You're welcome. I mean, it's okay, Lisa. Let's see. Dolores, does Embrilliance have different kind of already installed? So if you're asking about the BX fonts, yes. So I've never played with Express, but Essentials has a certain number of pre-installed fonts in it. I don't know what that number was because I started with Stitch Artist Level 2. I feel like, I could be totally wrong, I feel like Stitch Artist Level 2, when I installed it, I had maybe 8 to 10 BX fonts. Okay, different stitches. Oh, okay. Does Embrilliance have different kind of stitches? Yes. Yes, it does. So when I click up here and create, all these stitches were already in Embrilliance. Now, if you go to the motif run, let's click on it. Or is it this one? If you go to, is it this one? I'll look at it in just a little bit. I'll finish this first. You can download additional motif stitches. You can probably download additional stitches. I'm not sure about that, but I have downloaded additional motif stitches, runs, I'm not sure, but that's it. So now what I want to do is add a satin border stitch all the way around this. And I think I want to tie it in with this color here. So let's go up here. Let's click on one of those run stitches because I want these stitches to go right over the first 2 egg stitches. Hey, Terry. So I'm going to hit Command C for copy, Command V for paste, and it put it down at the bottom, which is exactly where I want it because I want my satin border around my applique to be the very last thing that stitches. And this is what I like about doing your own applique stitches is you can manipulate them, to me, easier than if you use the applique feature. It's a couple of extra steps, but I love doing it that way. Okay, so now this oval, let's make this purple. We want to make it the same purple, so I'm going to click right here. Notice you could click on threads or palettes. I clicked on the color of the stitches. Then I can look at all the color threads that I have in here, or I can click on palettes, and that's going to show me just the colors that I've used so far in this design. So let's click on the color I want and say OK. Now it is still a run stitch. To change it from just a straight run stitch to a satin border stitch, I click right here. Let's click over here on satin border so that I can see what I have here. And what I want to do is just change the width. I want to make it a little bit smaller because I think that's pretty big for this small egg. There you go. The last thing I like to do is, let's go up here to the select tool. I'm going to select oops, that is not what I wanted. There we go. I'm going to select everything in my design, and I'm going to make sure it's in the center of the hoop. That way I can really predict where it's going to stitch out on my machine. So with it selected, I'm going to go to Utility and Center and Hoop, and it did move down. So now it's in the center of my hoop. Hey, Rondrea. All righty. So, Eve Marie. Okay, so this would be the design. So now I'm going to save it. I'm going to go File, Save As. I always save a stitching file or a stitch file and a working file. The stitch file is what you take to your embroidery machine. That's what the embroidery machine reads, and different embroidery machines use different files. I have a Poolin that uses DST. I have a Smart Stitch that uses DST, but I think do Brothers use PES? There's various stitch files. So I'm going to save as a stitch file so I can stitch it out, and a working file so that I can bring it back in just like this and play around with it some more. So we'll click there. Here's all the different types you can save it as. Again, my machines that I use all the time use DST. And so I name things EMB for embroidery. Easter egg, let's just call it Easter egg Ella. And now on my desktop, I'm going to have the working file as well as the stitch file because I chose to save it to my desktop. Okay, so last thing, let's just look at this stitch out. We have our placement stitch. We have our tack down stitch. We have our top fringe, our bottom fringe, our zigzags. We have the name. And then we have our satin border stitch. Now, could I rearrange these so they're a little more efficient? Probably, but it's fine. Hey, D. Smith. Okay, so before we move off of this, and we're going to look at the fringe that I have, and we're going to look to see if I made my fringe stitches large enough to make this into fringe. Does anybody have any questions about this design itself? Type out the whole word embroidery until I heard you and Patrice EMB. Okay. Now I know I'm ahead of where the chat is. It takes just a minute for what I say to get to you. So I'm going to give it just a minute to make sure nobody has any questions about this design. Let's go up and look and see what Kristen was talking about. So we are going to go right here to the library. And she said in shapes 2. Okay, that's right here. Look, an egg. Let's look at that egg. Let me move it over. I don't always trust designs that I get off of certain places, but that point looks to be pretty close to across from that. Let's look, that one is going straight up and down. This one's almost going straight up and down. Pretty close. Yeah. So we do have an egg, and you can get to that by going to library, and then it was shapes 2, and the egg's right here. Kristen, thank you. Yeah, mine looks pretty close. Hey, Darika. All right. Let's see what I missed up here. Hey, oh, I can do that, Journey. Welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of sharing the screen. I've already saved it, so when I hit don't save, it's still saved somewhere. Now, got to remember how to get out of, I don't want to get rid of the computer. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. I still have my computer, but just not the sharing of the screen. Oh, good, Kristen. You'll probably really enjoy it. All right, let's look at my fringe that I've played with so far. On this one, I did a zigzag stitch. I used that from the applique feature, and I did a zigzag stitch on the outside. And I really didn't care for the zigzag stitch so much because I could still see the bottom below it. But here's a piece of fringe. This was the exact same stitch, but I cut from the front instead of cutting from the back. This is the same type of fringe. I just made it a little smaller, a little narrower, and then this would be fringe also. Now, when Patty Ann did hers, she's done a few videos. She did it for, I think it was a mouse that was dancing. She replaced the skirt with fringe, and it was super cute. She also did a lion's mane, and she replaced it with fringe. Now, she had to draw, so she had to take what she already had, and she had to draw points and make a new design for the fringe and delete the old part that was under it. But, you know, it's not too bad. But anyway, there's what the fringe looks like. This one was pretty wide. So I'm interested to see tonight, when you only do 1/4 of an inch, how that comes out. Okay, so here is the back side, and let's see. Let's get some little scissors. Let's get my seam ripper. The thing is, I don't really have any high quality seam rippers, and so they're not super sharp. Let's see what happens. We are going to cut through the white bobbin. This up here, remember at the top one, the stitches that are going to hold the fringe together are up there. So you don't want to cut anything up there. I hope it's going to be cute. Let's see. So first you have to go through, and let me put this down, and cut all those. You can cut them with a seam ripper. You can cut them with scissors. And if you cut your bottom stitches, if you cut these pink ones down here, you're still going to have fringe, but it's not going to be loops. See how these are loops? If you cut that, you're not going to have loops. They're just going to be straight. And that's fine too. It's just a matter of what you're going for. And so I'm trying just to cut the bobbin, but who knows? I might get some of those other ones too. If I took it out of the hoop, it would probably be easier. But, you know, it's okay. Thanks, Robin. Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see. Ow! Don't do that. I think I just made myself bleed. I could. Yeah, I could. Don't do that. Do not do it like I do it. Stacy, are you watching me? Are you watching me cut myself now? If I pull it out now, I probably... No, it's okay. All right, let's turn this way so we can get closer to the edge. Unbiased, that is just me, I swear. Okay, so we're gonna break those. And I think that's good. Let's see if I have any left in there. Nope. And then what you can do is you can trim away the excess bobbin thread. But I can kind of pull some of it out. Okay. So now you can't tell yet because we have to lift all that out. And it's going to come out from this bottom side because remember our stitch is holding it together at the top. Okay, got a little bit loose now. Okay, so is anybody new from when I showed my... I want to show this again. I want to show it again. Hopefully it doesn't drip. Hopefully it doesn't drip. Look at my Easter basket with the real grass in it. Video to come out tomorrow. It took me 21 days to get it thick and full and tall. And it is a fescue mix. It is a wide blade grass mix. Probably mostly fescue. I'm sure it's mostly fescue. That's what my husband told me. But yeah, that video is coming out. Okay, so I've cut all those bobbin threads. Thank you. So now I have to lift those threads out without cutting them. So I'm going to use some tweezers. Going to use some tweezers. So I'm just going to get under the threads and I'm going to kind of pull down and up. There we go. And they come out really pretty easily. The first couple times that I tried to do this stuff, I was like, what? Now that loop, I accidentally cut something that I shouldn't have cut. So I would trim that one down. Same there, I just pulled on it. Now, is this very washable? I don't know. I would probably not put this on something I'm going to wash a whole lot. And I would probably put Tender Touch or something on the back to hold it together. But yeah, I pulled some of those loops way out of whack. So you see how the fringe is loops? Now, can I tell what I did from the back? Did I cut up here? That's the only thing I can think of is when I was cutting, I might have accidentally cut. Yep, that one I did. I accidentally cut it. So what I would do if I want to keep using this is I would trim the ones down that I accidentally cut. So if I'm going to put this on something I'm not going to wash a lot, maybe I would do a Easter pillow, a different type of pillow, decoration for my kids' room. I don't know what all I would do this on. I just feel like maybe I wouldn't put it on a shirt. Okay, so this is from a 1/4 inch fringe column. And it's not real large, but it's cute. So let's go ahead and do this bottom one. And then I'm trying to think. I had something else I wanted to show you this evening, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, I remember what it was. I remember what it was, but yes, I remember what it was. I'm not sure if we should go over that tonight or not, though. It's more Embrilliance stuff. Okay, so I'm going to try to stay to this side of that bobbin thread. Hopefully I don't cut it like I did before. Or hopefully I don't cut my finger off. So maybe next time I should do something to my tension so I have more bobbin showing. Kristen says she'd be playing with the Fringe, whatever it was on. Your little tactile, Kristen. Oh, that's probably, no, I don't think so. Never mind. Okay. I'm gun shy now because of poking my finger. Okay, let's turn this so I can get it better from the other side. And where is it? Okay. So we're going to pull off some of that. And then let's go to the other side and lift it up. So this time, we're going to lift it from the top. This one we lifted from the bottom. And the stitches that hold it in place are up here. This one we're going to lift from the top. Hey, Cookie. Welcome. Hey, Rougie. Okay, so let's just grab it. Oops. So this is magnetized and it's grabbing on to my tweezers. So I just put my tweezers under it and kind of pull up and toward me a little bit since they're coming out from that direction. And I'm doing a little better job this time and not having those extra long pieces from cutting something in the wrong place. Okay. There we go. Looks like I have one piece that isn't looped. I think I cut the wrong thing there. I think I cut the wrong thing. And I have a little bit more that isn't fringed yet. So let's go ahead and finish getting that out. Okay. And what you could do is you could do rows of this, but you would want to go in a certain order because once the fringe comes out, the fringe covers over more than just the 1/4 inch that we had. So if I wanted rows below it, I would do the bottom row first, and then I would have the second row pretty much touching it, and the third row pretty much touching it. And then when you pull that fringe out, it should, although I haven't tried it yet, it should, if it's flat, which it's not going to be, it should slightly cover over the other one. But you know how skirts have layers? If you're doing a skirt on a little animal, you could do that. But isn't that cute? I think it's a nice little stitch to be able to take advantage of if you want to. I don't see it being useful in a ton of projects, but I think it's cute. And I should have used multiple colors to make this cuter. I was just trying to stitch it out, and it stitched out right before I went live. So there's that. Here's the same type of fringe, just quite a bit longer. On this one, I cut from the top. I didn't know what I was doing because I didn't watch Patty Ann's video recently. So I had to go back and watch it, and then she taught me how to do it the right way. Thanks, Tracy. Alrighty, so I I think that's pretty much it. We've been on an hour and a half, so I think we're good. I did talk about, let me get rid of this. I did talk about a couple of things when I first came on. I showed my Easter basket. That video will be out tomorrow. Super easy to do. Now, you don't want to have to go buy a whole bag of grass seed. So if you have grass seed on hand, or you have a neighbor that has grass seed on hand, or an aunt or an uncle or a cousin, somebody that has grass seed on hand, and check to see how long it takes for that grass seed to germinate. Mine, I think it said 5 to 6 days, and it germinated quickly because I had it in my warm house. I kept it, I watered it 3 times a day with the spray thing. So it was warm, and I kept it wet. And that's what you need for a seed to germinate. So check out your grass seed if you find somebody that has some. That was one thing. Second thing, we'll be doing the block party. Patrice and I are going to host the block party on March 28th. I don't have the exact time yet. We have several other people that do lives on a regular basis that do quilting and stuff like that. They'll be participating. That's the 28th. That's free for anybody. You don't have to sign up. It's just back-to-back YouTube lives. But you'll see probably 8 different types of quilt blocks, and you'll hear from 8 different types of, or 8 different people that might explain things differently. They might do different types of quilt blocks. They might do machine embroidery quilting. They might do hand stitching. They might do, I'm going to sew mine on a machine. I'm going to sew it on this one machine. Let's see. So that's one thing. And then on April 18th, for members of my channel, Patrice's channel, and Shay Shay's, Crafting on a Dime with Shay Shay, and Patrice's Craftable Things, members of our 3 channels, we're going to do a jelly roll rug. And so we'll have some information that comes out probably 2 weeks in advance that helps you to get ready for that. At this time, if you want to participate, you need a jelly roll, which is 2.5-inch strips of fabric that are about, I don't remember, 40 some inches wide, long. So 2.5 inches wide by supposedly the length of a bolt. I'm going to cut my own because I don't want to buy a jelly roll. But we will have registration for that down the road. Again, we'll have some pre stuff that comes out that helps you get ready for that. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Kristen. 44 inches long. So 2.5 inches wide, 44-ish inches long. Doesn't have to be exact. And 40 to 44 strips is what Shay Shay said you'll need. Okay, check Facebook post if I can real quick. Is it a picture of me? Is it a bad picture of me? Is it my Facebook group? Oh, okay. It's some fringe that, oh, that's cute. Are those flamingos? That is really cute. If you're not a member of my Facebook group is Making with Marilyn. And if you want to see the picture that Rachel just posted, go ahead and request to be a member of that. Answer the questions, and I or my partner in crime will approve you, and you can see that. It's a super cute project that Rachel did. So I think that's it. Oh, thank you, Miss Joyce. You also have, and this will be in the prep work that we do, you also have strips of batting. So, I mean, I guess you could cut your own batting, but I bought jelly roll batting off of Amazon. And so here pretty soon, I'll show you the tool that you need if you want to use a tool that makes it easier. It makes your strips. So the jelly roll strip making tool, the batting, the jelly roll batting, the jelly roll, and then of course your machine, your fabric, pins or clips or whatever you want to use there. Thank you, Miss Joy. Oh, you can wash it. Okay. Lynn lost sound. Did anybody else lose sound? Anybody else lose sound? So a yard of fabric at 2.5 inches, what's 36 divided by 2.5? 12? Something like that. You math people, or if you have a phone, what is 36 divided by 2.5? 36 divided by 2.5. Hey, Connie. Okay, so you still have sound, Connie. Thank you. Oh, okay, 14 strips. Cool. Yes, yes, yes. I have the Clover tool. Shay has a different one. There's also a Genesis, and I'll kind of, in what I put out there, I'll talk about the difference there. So that is over a month away, and I'll get something out. I'll do it ahead of time. So, all right. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your week. If you are not up on your screenings, do your medical screenings. Did mine last week. Did my mammogram last week. Got the all clear this year. Not like last year. Hey, Merlinda. Been in the bushes. Enjoy your tutorials. Thank you. And the screenings just help you. If there is an issue, your best chances are knowing that early. And so screening is scary. It's scary for me. But screening is scary. But as my doctor told me, when I didn't do it for 6 years until my sister got breast cancer, and I went in there and, oh, I'm so stupid. She's like, it's okay. You're catching up, and knowledge is power. So schedule those screenings if you need to. Thank you, Lisa. All right. I will see you guys probably tomorrow night in the chat on Patrice's channel. She and Eve are doing date night. I don't know what they're doing yet, but it'll be something good. So hopefully